Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new episode of the Glow Beyond podcast. And I'm super excited to share with you guys that today this episode is actually supported and sponsored by CeraVe. And this is actually the first ever sponsored episode as well for the podcast. I mean, for me, it's a very meaningful milestone, and I hope for more to come with, you know, such a meaningful collaborations in the future. Yeah. Yay! So today, I'm also very excited to share with you. We have a special guest, and her name is this beautiful Dr. Azura.
Thank you for inviting me and give me a space to share whatever that's worth sharing.
Yeah, we are really excited to hear from you.
Thank you.
But you know, first and foremost, for the ones that are not as familiar with you, can you introduce a little bit more about yourself?
Okay, so my name is Azura. I'm a general practitioner. I own a GP clinic, actually, 2 of them, if you're around. I am a mother as well. I have 3 boys, and yeah, 3 boys struggling and dealing with eczema.
Wow. I mean, we all know that being a mother is not easy, right? Yeah. And you are a mother of 3, and 3 of them also deal with eczema issues, right? Actually, the reason why we invited Dr. Azura is because September is actually Eczema Awareness Month, and as we all know, I personally have psoriasis, and eczema is actually way more common compared to psoriasis. So a little bit of statistics for y'all. In Malaysia, there are actually 12.3% of adults in Malaysia that are affected with eczema, whereas for children it's actually 13.4%. And for Singapore, eczema affect 1 in 5 for children and also 1 in 10
it's very common in children
for adults. And as we all know also, eczema is becoming more and more common. It seems like people have started to call it modern condition, right? Modern disease as we all progress forwards. Unfortunately, skin conditions are becoming more common, and I think it's much more crucial and important to have conversations like this to talk about the true story of what it's like dealing with eczema. You have 3 children, and 3 of them have eczema.
Yes.
So can I be very honest? I would just like to ask you, as a woman and as a mother, how was it like during the early days?
Oh my, the early days are so bad, especially when, so my 3 kids are suffering from what we call atopic dermatitis, or more like infant eczema lah. Their condition are worse when they were less than 1 year old. Was bad. Whenever we had the first one, it was really challenging because we don't have any experience. Even though I'm a doctor, I never had my own, usually you'll see patients in clinic. I mean, you suggested some things and that's it. You don't know whether it works or how to struggle at home. But whenever my child himself had eczema, the trouble is different, I would say. But we handled it better with the second and third. But it's still a struggle. Generally, having kids is a struggle already. So having kids with eczema is double or triple. So yeah.
Can you share with us a moment where you feel very helpless?
Okay. Whenever, like I said, my first child, whenever we had the first symptoms, it was initially it was just redness, and then it starts to grow. She was here, and it goes everywhere, the whole face, the whole body. It was very dry. He had trouble sleeping because it's too itchy. He will scratch until it bleeds. You know, the early days were hard because we don't know what to use. We were not familiar with all the typical symptoms and struggles. He had trouble sleeping, and whenever the kids have trouble sleeping, obviously the parents had trouble sleeping as well. So our work are affected, and my first child, he's actually autistic, so he has this eczema on top of his autism. So whenever, I don't know whether you're familiar with autism, but the kids with autism, they need constant therapy. So he'll have 6 hours of therapy, a session with occupational therapists, speech therapy, and whenever he's in the class, he needs a lot of focus. And whenever his eczema flares up, he will be very distracted. And it actually hampers his progress. So whenever his eczema flares up, we saw that he regresses a bit. So that is another set of challenge other than the actual skin thing.
To be frank, it sounded a bit discouraging, right?
Yeah,
like you see your child moving forward, and because of this skin condition, it becomes a distraction of his therapy journey.
Yeah.
And I truly can relate because skin condition is definitely not easy to live with. And when I had it, I was a teenager. Like I was a kid and then a teenager. And for sure, I wouldn't deny it. It's very, very difficult. But I think it's even more difficult when you are dealing with children that, you know, when they're at an age where they don't really know how to express themselves, and you don't really know how to help them as well.
Really, yes,
So
that's so
thank
true.
you. Thank you for saying so strong and to also
okay.
share your journey here today.
Thank you
with
for
us.
listening as well.
So, Dr. Azura, I would like to understand what are the early symptoms of eczema in your children?
Okay, in my children, usually when people say eczema, there's a few different type of eczema. Okay, so what my child has, or the most common ones, we call it atopic dermatitis. It started off with usually rashes, and then the skin becomes dry, flaky, it's itchy, you can see scratch marks, and if it's very bad, the kid might scratch it until the skin like bleeds. That's most of it. Okay, it's usually, I would say, around 3 to 5 months of age they'll appear. Around 5-year-old, usually it's a little bit better. The flare-ups are lesser, but yeah, you know, eczema is not a condition where you can cure from it. Just the symptoms get better.
How old are your kids right now?
The first one is 5, second one is 3, and the youngest is 8 months old.
Wow, so they are all in different stages
Yes,
of eczema.
I mean, after the first one is better, the second one started back again. Okay, so now I'm dealing with the third one.
So, but
it's a never-ending process.
But you're managing it better, right?
Yes, a lot better from the previous. Yeah, we learn from whatever it is that
That's good
mistakes.
to know. Then I'm very curious. So, as a doctor yourself, maybe perhaps you have a little bit of early understanding of what eczema is.
Yes.
But at the same time, dealing with it, it seems a bit different, right? Like
Yeah.
you have to be very hands-on.
Yes.
So when your children started having eczema, do you also deal with a bit of misconceptions on yourself?
Yes, oh my God, every day. Whenever we like came across family members, it's another story. And when you see patients also, they have tons of misconception. Okay, usually they would say, whenever that you came out and you say, oh, my child is like this, he had eczema, that's why, you know, explaining the rash and like whatever that people always ask, they would always say, it's curable, like, why are you dealing with it so much? You know, the thing is, eczema is not curable. Okay, it's a myth, because eczema is actually due to genetic condition. It's due to some gene mutation, so it's hereditary. Okay, so it's passed down from parents to child, and definitely it's not curable. It's because of some genetic mutations. So you carry your genes throughout your whole life. So there's no cure for it. I mean, the ones that we're doing is always like managing the symptoms, but there's no cure of it. Okay, other than it's curable, they always say that they don't want to come close to any eczema patients or any kids with eczema because they say, oh, it's contagious, don't touch that child, you know, things like that. But like I said, it's genetic, okay? It's not contagious, definitely. Okay, the skin is dry due to some genetic mutations that make our skin unable to produce ceramides, which helps the skin barrier. So whenever your skin barrier is not good, you're gonna have some irritations, some rashes. So it doesn't come from outside. So it's not due to some bacteria or some virus. It's due to your own skin barrier not able to handle some irritations and all. I think other than it being contagious, they say it's due to poor hygiene. So whenever they see a child, they say, oh, tak mandi, they're not bathed properly, they didn't wash their hands. So it's not that, okay? So basically, it's genetic, it's not due to poor hygiene, not due to some infections, and definitely not curable.
Very funny story. When you mentioned about the hygiene thing, right? Someone also actually asked me, like, you got showered properly or not? You sure you got showered properly? Wow. And there was another one, like, sometimes we don't really think about it, but actually the comment from family
members hurt the most.
Yes,
I know.
I remember when I was younger, I had a sleepover with my cousin, and my cousin father actually asked my cousin not to sleep on the same bed
Oh
with
my,
me.
that's so sad.
Yeah, they were worried that it was going to be contagious, like it would affect my cousin's skin condition. So, I mean, right now I think about it, right? Like I don't really think much about it, but I'm sure there is a reason why I remember.
Yeah.
Like at that point of time, I'm sure it was quite hurtful.
Traumatizing, yeah.
Like what's wrong with me, right? So
understand.
I really appreciate like all the conversations that we are
I
having
mean, we
today.
should talk about it more, right?
Yes,
so
for
people
sure.
know. Whenever they don't know, they will have a lot of misconception, and eventually it will hurt the feelings of the one that's being experiencing it, like psoriasis, eczema. Okay, it's not that. Sometimes I don't think that it's intentional, but
No, it's not.
yeah, it's due to lack of understanding.
It's also just human nature because people always react in a defensive way whenever they don't understand about something.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah, so it's just human
they just want to
nature.
protect themselves.
Yes, for sure. When it comes to managing a skin condition, right, we all know that when it comes to being hands-on, it takes a little bit of more understanding, a little bit of practice, and we learn the most when we are doing it.
Agree.
So you are the expert of
Yeah,
managing.
because I do it so much already.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Dr. Azura, can you share with us, like, how did you start to learn how to manage all these eczema symptoms in your children?
Okay, so how you manage eczema is definitely you need to prevent flare-ups. Okay, not just treat it, you have to prevent. So what we use is a good moisturizer, definitely. We have to use it frequently, and we usually apply our moisturizers directly after bath because that makes the absorption better when your skin is a bit damp. Okay, and I have a trick that I used to use. I still use it now. Okay, whenever the flare-ups are that you can tell that the flare-ups are coming, or whenever they have flare-ups, I will have this trick where I use a spoonful of moisturizer. I will mix in their bath, okay, like bath water in the bathtub. Okay, make the temperature not too hot.
Lukewarm.
Yeah, lukewarm. Yeah, because hot bath actually dries your skin very much. So I put it in the bath water, and they actually soak in it. So that actually really helps to give that extra moisturizing effect on top of the actual moisturizer.
Wow.
So it's like double moisturized.
This is the first time I've heard about this. It sounds a bit like milk bath, huh?
Yeah,
Right,
it's something like milk bath.
You
but
put the
instead
moisturizer.
of milk, yeah, you put the moisturizer.
Wow, how did you find out about this?
Okay, I actually saw it in a webinar from the UK Eczema Association. I guess I don't know the exact name, but they're sharing what they can do there. So I applied it to my kids, and apparently it works. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, you guys can try it out too. Yeah, it's
I would
very
say,
easy.
Like, I would say the moisturizing is really important, right? Because like you want to prevent the dryness, because dryness is the one thing that triggers like itching.
Yes.
Because it happens a lot to me too. When you itch, then you scratch, and then you see a lot of blood and wounds
it's like
and
a
stuff.
vicious cycle.
Yes, it never stops.
Never
It
stops.
has to stop when we introduce a moisturizing. So as we speak about moisturizing, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. This episode is a sponsored episode, so we're gonna talk about something that I've been using for a while. So here in my hand, I have CeraVe Moisturizing Cream with me. I have been using this moisturizing cream for the past few months. I think at least 6 months ever since CeraVe has launched in Malaysia and also Singapore. Very exciting!
Yeah.
So one of the reasons why I love this and it works on my skin is because it contains 3 types of skin identical ceramides, and it also has this MVE technology that really makes sure I have long-lasting hydration. So I've used this like twice a day, sometimes once a day is enough already.
Yeah.
But I really find that it's really amazing, and it keeps my skin moisturized, and it really reduces itching to a minimal level.
Yeah, because whenever you mention like they have the 3 skin identical ceramides, you know that eczema or atopic dermatitis is due to lack of ceramide 1 and 3. That's our skin ceramides. So I would say this is good because it replaces the one that our body is lacking. Other than that, the MVE technology I think works well as well. So because whenever we use moisturizer, you know, kids are so difficult to reapply. Oh my God, it's a challenge. So whenever it lasted quite a long time, so you don't need to reapply. Right? That's a win-win for the kids.
Dr. Azura, so we all know that, like taking care of children is not easy. and you're also taking care of 3 children with eczema. So I'm just very curious if it's okay to ask, right? Did this situation affect your relationship with Dr. C?
Oh my, yes, very much it affects us. I don't know whether you guys heard of people having like difficult child or like child with medical condition. It always comes with a lot of set of challenges. Okay, it could be positive, it could be negative. Fortunately, I'm so thankful for my husband, Dr. C. He's a very helpful man. He understands. I don't know. Definitely, he'll understand that because he's a doctor as well. But him being hands-on is what makes me feel better or more comfortable handling our kids. Okay, so as we know, the challenges are in the initial part when we're looking for a good moisturizer. You have to try and error. This doesn't work. This works. You have trouble with sleeping. I mean, whenever you have lack of sleep, you can be angry and like fighting. But apparently, he's very supportive. He understands. He took time. We take shifts and whatnot. And he also helps me in applying the moisturizers as well whenever like I'm not around. And yeah, it's good. It's good. It helps us bond better, I would say. Yeah. So it's in a positive way. It's good. I know some people might have a negative experience, but yeah. It's positive for me, and whoever had some negative thoughts of all of this, it doesn't have to be. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we also recognize how difficult things can be, and I'm really glad to hear that instead of, allowing this to affect your relationship, I guess it seems like it strengthened both of your relationships as well, and I think it takes a lot of work from both of you as well. Yeah, so much to learn from both of you, honestly. But I want to ask you, as a mother, right? I mean, I know we focus a lot on the children and stuff like that, but like as a mother yourself, it hasn't been easy. So when you're going through this journey, right, taking care of kids with eczema, how did you seek support, or what did you do to kind of like make it easier for your days to be bearable?
Okay, so the initial part, definitely it's hard. I'm the one who, I would say, an introvert, so I don't go to support groups. Usually people who had some issues, they will seek support groups, seek someone who has the same experience. Definitely that will help if you guys are open to socialize. But due to me being an introvert, I actually did my own research. I read a lot of journals. I go online to look for like tips, how other people manage eczema for their kids. I learn about brands, which ingredients that are good, the things that you can find in the internet, the knowledges, but you still need to listen to other people's experience and hands-on. Definitely you try them yourself.
Well, it seems like for you, it's a little bit different, right? I think what I learned from your journey is you really do the work to kind of be an informed parent and also user, and also a caretaker for your children. And I think that is something that we also need to talk about it more, like how do we exactly become an informed parents or informed user. And I'm looking forward to have more conversation like this on this podcast, to be honest, because I don't think there are a lot of guidelines out there, but for you to share it, I think it's kind of like a tips for us. How do we be informed? How do we apply the knowledge that we know on our situation and challenges that we face? So lastly, before I let you go, Dr. Azura, I hope that there are parents who are listening to this, right? So do you have any tips for parents who are in the same situations?
All right, tips. First, you should never give up, okay? Because the bad ones, the flare-ups and whatnot, the struggling days are, I would say, usually when the kids are smaller, okay? When they're like probably less than 1 year old or less than 5 years old. Things will get better. I mean, it's not curable, but things definitely get better. The flare-ups are going to be less. Okay, other than that, you should explain your condition to your partner, okay? Make them help. Not just you struggling it alone with the kids. Okay, definitely a partner would help a lot, other than them do the hands-on thing, other than that, the emotion part of it as well. And I would say it's best that we educate I mean, the closest to us. Okay, so you can be like I would say like an ambassador of the condition to at least your family members, or you have quite a big following in social media. You can do that as well. Okay, so it helps spread the awareness.
Yes, that's what we are doing right now.
Yeah. But conclusion-wise, don't give up. The things get better. Advocate people surrounded you and get emotional help.
But it's true, you know, like for skin conditions, because I do meet a lot of people with skin condition. Usually, eczema is the one condition that it usually will get better. So I hope that whoever who's listening to this find some comfort in that. And yeah, like you say, do not give up.
Don't give up.
Do not give up, guys. So yeah, thank you so much, guys, for listening.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Dr. Azura,
Thank
for
you
being
for
with us.
inviting me, giving me a way to like reach out to
Yeah.
others that might need help.
Yeah.
Or don't.
Yes. So if you're curious about Dr. Azura's journey, where can they find you?
Okay, I'm on Instagram. It's at Azura Abbas. Okay, so it's at URAABAS. And yeah, that's all. Only on Instagram.
Yay. All right, then maybe we'll see you on Instagram, Dr. Azura. So thank you so much for listening, guys. And we will see you in the next one. Don't forget to glow beyond your skin condition. Bye.
Bye.